Hello everyone, welcome to JCE eConnect, the online series of lecture. In the previous session, we had completed interest and time value of money. Hope you have gone through the various numericals. So today we'll be seeing cash flow diagram and compound interest factors. In compound interest factors, mainly we'll check the two things today. First one is the single payment compound amount factor and single payment the present worth factor. So first we'll start with what is cash flow diagram. Okay, so cash flow diagram is a time scale representation of the monetary transactions. So this cash flow diagrams are simple graphical representation of income and outlay. Okay, so when I'm explaining this particular concept, before understanding this, generally before constructing a diagram, it is very much common to define the time frame over which the cash flow occurs. Now when I'm using the term cash flow, what does it means? It is the cash inflow and cash outflow from your account. This is the best example. Okay, now when I use the term as cash outflow, what does it means? Okay, you are spending an amount for something. Okay, suppose if you want to buy a car, so what you do, maybe some savings you have up to 5 lakhs and for another 5 lakhs you do the loan. So what happens at that particular time? 5 lakhs you are investing directly, plus for 5 lakhs when you are making a loan, there is what you have to repay it to the bank at certain rate of interest, that is your EMI. So what happens, periodically every month certain amount is getting cut from your account. So it is called as what? Cash outflow. Now what you mean by cash inflow? Suppose you have a shop, you have given it to a rent. So when you have given it to the rent, obviously a total advance will come to your account at once, or every month at every month some amount will be getting back to your account. Okay, you will be getting it at an installment. So this is called as an cash inflow. Okay, so this is called as what? The monetary transactions. Okay, thus in this diagram the time or the period is represented along the horizontal axis. Okay, you can see that here. Okay, you can see that, you can observe. Okay, this is the horizontal axis where the time is represented with a specific time period. Okay, and this is called as what? The benefit. Benefit means what? It is a cash inflow, or else you can see the expenditure here. This is called as what? Cash outflow. Okay, so this is a typical cash flow diagram. We'll see this in detail what it means. This cash flow diagram is very much important to solve any of the economic analysis problem. Okay, it helps you to understand the problem well. So I repeat again, try to understand. The time frame forms the horizontal axis which is divided into different time frame at particular interval, often in years. Okay, the receipts and disbursement are located on the time scale based on the problem specifications. So what does this receipts and disbursement means? Okay, the arrow the arrow signifies the cash flow, normally downwards, that is your expenditure, you can see, right? Okay, so this expenditure means disbursement, and the and it is also called as cost, as I have indicated there, and the upward arrow represents either the benefit or it is called as even receipts. Okay, so clear with this concept. Thus the use of this cash flow diagram is strongly recommended for the situations in which an analyst need to visualize what is involved when the flow of money occurs at various times. Okay, the usefulness of this cash flow diagram for economic analysis problem is analogous to that of the free body diagrams what we have seen in engineering mechanics. You can correlate the both. So here, the benefits are represented by arrow pointing upward, and expenditures or the cost is represented by the arrow pointing downward. Okay, so this benefits or expenditures are then located on the time scale based upon the problem specification, as I have told you. So in our later part, when we solve the numerical problem, you will understand this better. Okay, individually this expenditure or the benefit are represented by the vertical line, as you are able to see here, right? So these lines are represented individually, okay, at different heights based upon their magnitude. Different heights, that means what? At maybe the first year, how much is the investment you are making? Second year, how much is the amount that you are getting back? Okay, depending upon the magnitude, you can denote the individual lines, so which will help you for the better understanding of the numerical. Okay, the positive cash flows are drawn above the horizontal axis, whereas the negative cash flows are shown below. Okay, that one you are able to see in this typical diagram. So when this particular concept is asked in the exam, you have to first write the definition, okay, then draw this typical cash flow diagram. Okay, then you need to explain what you mean by benefit, what you mean by expenditure, how it is indicated on the time scale, at which particular period. Each and every term you need to explain in detail. Okay, now we'll see the interest formulas for single payment. Okay, starting before trying to understand this concept well, we need to know why exactly we are studying this. Okay, so all of you are aware of the different investment. Okay, why we make an investment, why we are or why we should opt the various decisions in making investment, because it's all about money. Okay, when it comes to money, you have to forethink in well way, because I always say that 1 rupee saved will be equal to 2 rupees earned. Okay, so you have to make the decisions properly. Thus, while making this investment decisions, the calculations will be done in many ways. We know that. Thus, to simplify these calculations, interest formula are to be used very effectively. So you know, in the previous class we have seen this. So what happens in your simple interest? Interest is calculated based on the initial deposit for every interest period. Okay, that means what? Interest on interest is not applicable here. But when it comes to compound interest, what happens? In our compound interest, interest on the current period is computed based upon the amount, that is the principal amount plus the interest up to end of previous period. You know that, and it occurs when? At beginning of every current period. Thus the notations which are used in the various interest formula are as below. So today's class will be mainly seeing the interest formula for single payment, compound amount factor, and next one we will be seeing single payment present worth factor. So we'll start with case 1. Okay, so this is the case 1. Okay, here in this particular concept we have 6 derivations. So I'll be sending this particular notes on the group. Derivations in detail you can understand well. Okay, I have simplified in much better way for you to understand well. So in this particular thing, you are able to see first one, finding the future worth when the present amount is given. So what do you mean by finding the future worth when the present amount is given? Any idea? So here, for example, okay, if you want to find out the amount, or if you want to find out how much will be the future amount for the present worth, how much you are investing at particular rate of interest. Okay, that is for example, if you are finding out the compound amount of rupees X for 5 years at 8% compounded annually, so how much will be the future cost with respect to the present worth? Okay, so here the objective is to find out the single future sum, that is the future worth of initial payment P made at time 0. Time 0 means what? Today you are investing after n periods at an interest compounded every period. Okay, so thus the cash flow diagram you are able to see here. Present worth, I am indicating it downward. Why? Because it is the investment from my side today at rate of interest I and at period n. Okay, so after n years, what will be the future worth? Future worth means what? It is the amount you are getting after certain time. So I am indicating the arrow upward as a benefit. P is what? It is an investment today. So it is an expenditure. So hope you have understood this cash flow diagram well. Okay, so here you are able to see the derivation, and this derivation is same as the compound interest what we have seen in our previous lecture. So what happens here, you are able to visualize that at 0th period what happens, your future worth will be same as your present worth, right? But after first year what happens, your future worth will be equal to your this present amount plus an interest that is added to present amount. Okay, so it turns to be P1 plus I. But same at end of second year what happens, your interest is getting added to your previous principal amount. That means what, your P1 plus I plus an interest is getting added to that amount. Okay, so it will be P1 plus I square. Similarly at end of n periods, it happens to be future amount will be equal to present worth 1 plus I raised to n periods. Okay, so here you are able to understand a particular difference. Okay, if you are I have told you, or I'll be even introducing you to the compound interest tables. Okay, either you can use this formula and solve the numerical, or else you can use the compound interest factor and you can solve the numericals in both the ways. So here in the second one you are able to understand P F is equal to, that is future worth will be equal to P F by P I comma n. So why I am using F by n? Because here I am finding out my future value of the present worth. Are you able to understand? See here. Here you are able to see F is equals to P1 plus I raised to n means what? Future worth is equals to present worth. In the bracket you have the factor. Similarly the same formula, okay, it is present worth F by P, that means future value of the present worth what you are finding I comma n. So when I show you the interest table, remember you have to check the column for F by P. So I am stressing on this term again and again. Right, so here 1 plus I raised to n is commonly called as the single payment compound amount factor, indicated by the functional notation F by P I comma n. I repeat again, here you are finding out future worth of the present value. Okay, so in the bracket you are going to multiply the functional notation. Okay, so this is how you have to explain the derivation. So we have 6 derivation. Every derivation has to be explained in this particular manner. Okay, all this functional notation, everything should be expanded well, and it should be explained, and each and every terminology should be explained. Okay, so the second one we will see, in the second case we will see finding out present worth for the future value. So finding out the present worth for the future value means what? Okay, so here if a person deposits, or for the better understanding, okay, if a person wishes to have sum of rupees X for his daughter's education 10 years from now, so he plans to deposit some lump sum amount today at rate of interest of around some 6-7% or some y% compounded annually. So what we are doing that time, we are finding out the present worth of whatever the amount he wants, plus even bank is adding a rate of interest to that amount. So at end of some n years he is getting that amount. So you are finding out how much is that amount's today's value what you have to invest. Okay, so it is called as what? Single payment to the present worth factor. Okay, single payment to the present worth factor. So here the objective is to find out the worth P of a single future sum F, which will be received after n periods at rate of interest I compounded annually. So you know the cash flow diagram is has to be represented for every derivation or every single numerical. So from equation 1 we have f is equals to p1 plus I raised to n. So where is our equation 1? This is our equation 1, what we have got. So from this particular equation, we are deriving, thus the present value will be equal to f by 1 plus I raised to n. You are deriving that from this particular thing. Thus, what will be the functional notation here? Again, you are finding out the present worth of the future amount. Okay, so you know how the functional notation is changing. There we had previously we had what? We were finding out the future value of the present worth, right? So it was f by p, but here it is, you are finding out the present worth of the future value, so it is p by f. That means in our compound interest table we have to use this particular terminology. Okay, so here again it is explained, 1 by 1 plus I raised to n is the single payment present worth factor indicated by the functional notation. Okay, and this particular thing is what you have to understand, and the same thing is explained below. Okay, so now we'll try to solve the numerical problem here. Okay, try to understand this in much better way. So first one, find out the compound amount of 200 rupees for 5 years at 8% compounded annually. So what does it mean? So in every single problem, we know firstly what is important is the given data. So write the given data. So find out the compound amount of 200 rupees for 5 years. That means what? Your present worth is 200 rupees, n is 5 years and I is 8%. So you are finding out how much is the future amount. So we know we have the formula, compound interest formula, that is f is equals to p1 plus I raised to n. So substitute and you will be getting an amount. So here you have to write future worth is equals to 293.87 rupees. Okay, I forgot to write the unit, but you should not forget, just remember what is the unit. So in our second problem, now I'll explain you how to even use the compound interest table. Okay, so just check the numerical here. So here a person deposits a sum of rupees 40,000 at rate of interest 15% compounded annually for 10 years. Find the maturity value after 10 years. So what he is given? A person deposits 40,000 rupees today. That means it is your present worth. Okay, rate of interest is given as what? 15%. N is given as 10 years. So we have the formula f is equals to p1 plus I raised to n. So when you substitute the following thing, 40,000, 1 plus rate of interest is 15. So 15 by 100 is 0.15. And n is given as what? 10 years. So you are writing 10. Okay, when you substitute, you will be getting 1,61,600 rupees. Now I'll explain you how to use the table. Okay, before checking that one, I have told from table we are going to use what? The functional notation. So what will be the functional notation here? F is equals to p1 plus I raised to n. So therefore f is equals to p. You are finding out the future worth. Okay, you are finding out what? The future worth of the present value. So see how I am substituting. So when I check the table, I have to check for the column future worth of the present value. Okay, so now I'll explain you how to check the table. So you are able to see here, this is the compound interest table. So what is this this particular compound interest table, it will be even allowed in the examination. This will just make your problem solving technique very easy. Okay, so you are able to see here. So just for a better view, we'll check it in this way. Okay, so you are able to see here what? To understand in a much better way, you are learning single payment, and in today's class you learned compound amount factor and present worth factor. You have seen f by p how to use and p by f how we are using. Okay, so now in my next session I'll be explaining about the uniform payment series. This arithmetic gradient you don't have. Okay, so just leave it. So whatever is the kind of numerical that will be obtained, just check here at the right end corner and left end corner, the percentage is given. So what it is? It is the rate of interest, what is given to you in the numerical. Okay, these are what? The different aspects of the numerical which will help you to solve. Okay, either it will be compound amount or the present worth and all that particular thing. Here at the left hand corner and right hand corner, what you have n divided into different time periods. Okay, so you can check here, like way we have the different values for different rate of interest and different n years. So now in the present problem, what is given to us? The rate of interest is, check back in the numerical again, the rate of interest is 15% and n is equals to 10. Okay, so I'll just show you the problem again. So see here, in this problem, the rate of interest is 15%, n is 10 years, and what is the functional notation? You are finding out the future worth, okay, for the present amount. So future worth for the present amount means f is equals to p. You have to check for the functional notation f by p. Okay, so check. So now we have to check for 15% and 10 years. Okay, so see, this is 3/4%. Now we have reached 6%, 8%, 12%. Yes, this is 15%. So you are able to see here, this is 15%, right? And what we have to see, what we are finding out. We are finding out the single payment for this compound amount factor f by p, and how much is the time period given to you? 10 years. So for 10 years you have to see, for 10 years it is 4.046. Did you understand? So this 4.046 I have to multiply with my present amount that is given. Okay, so we'll check in the numerical problem how it is given. So did you see? So 40,000 is your present worth into 4.04, what we got from the, so this 4.04 what we got from there, you are multiplying to 40,000, you will be getting same 1,61,600. So hope you have understood how to use the table, right? So check. Now we'll solve another few problems. What is the present worth? What is the present worth of 25,000 to be received after 5 years if I is 6%? So present worth. So what you are finding out? After 5 years you are receiving 25,000, means it will become your future amount. N is given as what? 5 years, and your rate of interest is given as 6%. So I have taken 6 by 100, or else you can directly consider that as 0.06. Okay, so we have the formula as what? You are finding out P is equals to how much? So P is f 1 by I raised to 1 by 1 plus I raised to n. So 25,000, whatever it is, substitute. Now when you have to check the compound interest table, you will be checking compound interest table for what? You will be checking for, in the table you will be checking for 6% rate of interest, where n is for 5 years, and there you can multiply and you will be checking out second column there, because here the functional notation is given to you as P by F, because you are finding out the present worth of the future amount that is given. Okay, so did you understand? Try and check the value. Okay, we'll see the next few more problems. This is a second kind of problem. So see here, a person wishes to have sum of rupees 5 lakhs for his daughter's marriage 10 years from now. So he plans to deposit some amount which will fetch a rate of interest of 6% compounded annually. Determine the sum. So I have told you, cash flow diagram is must. It will help you to understand the problem in a better way. So what is the present worth is what you have to understand. A person is planning for some amount in the future where a rate of interest of 6% is getting added to that amount. So you are finding out how much is the present worth today. So it is a second kind of problem. So you know here the present worth to you is given by what? You have a formula, just try to substitute, you will be getting an answer. Okay, so again check it with the table, compound interest table also. Okay, so hardly there will be difference of around up to 10 rupees difference will be there. That is fine, that is manageable. Okay, table 2, the formula usage, try solving both. Fine. Similar problem, Mr. X wishes to have a future sum of 50 lakhs for his daughter's fee for 10 years from now. What is the single payment that he should deposit now? Okay, he should deposit now means what? You have to find out the present worth. Okay, so that desired amount, so he'll be getting the desired amount after 10 years. And what it is given? Bank is giving 12% interest compounded annually. Okay, so you know F, I, N and P. Okay, you are finding out the present worth for the future value, present worth for the future value. Okay, so again this problem also try solving in both the ways, formula plus whatever is required. So I'll be attaching the compound interest table as well as the notes on the group. Try solving both and try to understand both in a better way. Okay, so thank you.